So the thing is that you can't use a data a resume that you constructed for data analytics roles to apply for, let's say, electrical engineering roles per se, or let me use something way different, maybe graphics design, yeah, or let me say graphics design and software engineering, yeah. So the first stage or the first step you have to do is to define those goals and those roles. So if you have those roles and those goals in your head, you can easily know what to put on your resume. Okay, what are the projects projects should I spotlight? Should I focus more on my achievements? Should I focus more on some of the volunteering activities I did and so on? So this is the first step to building your resume, right? Very important.
Welcome to our first official onboarding session for Futu Campus. So, if you can hear me, just type 5 on the chat so that I can know that you're following. I would like to do this interactively with everyone. Just type 5 on the chat if you can hear me. I'm not seeing any comments on the chat. If you can hear me, just type 5 on the chat. Okay. So why we do that? Why we do that? Like this is our first onboarding section so far as Futo Campus. So
Yeah.
I welcome you all once again. We will have a meeting, guys. This is the meeting. Please, we will just have some few instructions to follow. Firstly, you need to mute your mic when not speaking. And this session is recorded, so you need to mute your mic when you're not speaking. Now, secondly, I would like us to actively engage in the chat session. There you can network, there you can ask your question and the rest. So with that being said, I'd like you to just type your name and your department on the chat session. Let me check if you understood that the second meeting guide. Type your name and your department on the chat. So the third one says you have to be respectful to others. Like you have different persons on the call whom you know or may not know. So you have to respect it to others. Then finally, raise your hand if you want to say anything. So if you have anything to say, you just have to raise your hand. So from the chat, I'm just seeing only Chukuduma Chuku from computer science. Please, if you're yet to do that, kindly drop your name and your department. Okay, I can see Ogunwe Chidimma from mechanical. So thank you so much. We have to forge ahead. So my name is Godfirst Honor, and it's a privilege to be the campus ambassador for Futu. It's actually an honor. So I'll be your moderator for this evening, for this session. I'll be your moderator. So once again, I say welcome to you all. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our first speaker. Our first speaker has been here for a long time. He joined on time, and he will be speaking to us on how he lands internship. So we have Tochukwu Chukure. Tochukwu Chukure is an S engineering intern in Shell. So he will be speaking to us shortly, and permit me to read his bio before he comes up. So Tochukwu Chukure is a Gen Z born and raised in Western Africa who is unapologetically ambitious in pursuing his goals. He's a student at the Federal University of Technology of Owerri, where he studies electrical and electronics engineering. As a student, he has engaged in several extracurricular and technical activities in a bid to develop his professional skills. In 2021, he bagged the IEEE Richard E. Melvin Scholarship by the IEEE Computer Society, and that's an annual scholarship awarded to the 6 academically sound and actively volunteering IEEE student members globally. With past experiences leading teams and bagging several awards while being an undergraduate, he encourages students to take audacious steps towards approaching opportunities in any niche of interest. In the space of 1 year, he interned with 3 multinationals: Hawaii, Microsoft Technologies, and Shell while getting offers from other companies. Furthermore, as an ardent supporter of EdTech, he sees himself building technologies, leveraging extended reality to transform educational experiences. So if your hands are not busy, I'd like you to jump, give a round of applause as we welcome Tochukwu Chukwure to the stage. You're welcome, sir.
Oh, hi everyone. Today we are going to be talking about a very important, aspect of, your undergraduate degree, which is the internship applications and internship search, right? Today we're just, going to be looking at the different, aspects, ranging from you trying to search for the opportunities or you even preparing yourself, to get, that internship opportunity. Yeah, so today we are going to be doing a little bit of icebreaker. Yeah, a little bit of icebreaker. Then I'll talk about myself and then talk about the build up to your first internship application. Then talk about how you can demystify your internship search and then question and answer and then general tips. Just to I just want to get a feedback from you guys. Yeah, so probably if you have applied and you have gotten your internship offers, could just indicate in the chat box. Or if you have not gotten, your internship, or if you do not even know how to start applying, or just tell me what has been some of the steps you have taken towards, getting internships. You could just use the chat button. Yeah. So if you have gotten one, let me know. If you have not gotten, let me know. If you're still applying, let me know. If it's difficult to apply, let me know so that I can know the areas that I would concentrate more on during this session. So yeah, I'll be looking at the chat just to know. All right. Someone said it got discouraged after so many rejections. Okay, what else? Who else? I can't imagine. Still applying. Haven't applied for I haven't tried applying again. All right, no problem. So let's just start immediately. Yeah, and I know it's going to be difficult now, especially for photo students. Yeah, considering the fact that the timing is really bad. We're supposed to start internships next month by May, and it's just going to last for 3 months. That's like how funny it is. And not only that, is it lasting for 3 months? The timing is just wrong. Like most companies start their recruitment process in like June, July. Yeah, and you are starting like almost at the end of the first, internship cycle. Yeah, it's just weird. But as much as we can, we're just going to, explore certain areas and see how you could still, give it that last minute effort, right, to secure a placement before school resumes again or before the 3 months elapses. Yeah. So let's get right into it. So my name is Tochukwu Chukwure, and yes, I'm an ex-engineering student, ex-engineering intern at Shell in Soft on Huawei. That was a mistake on my slide, so sorry. So yes, on Huawei, yeah. And I remember when I started, that was in 2020. Was it 2020, 2021? Sorry, yeah, 2021. Yeah, around October. Yeah, that was when I started my active search for internship. And, during that time, I told myself that I wasn't going to look at the small companies, or not like look at the small companies, but I really knew what I wanted for my internships. I knew the companies I was aiming for. Yeah, I knew the internship goals I had for myself, or I set for myself. And, that really came out on a positive note because I got multiple offers, right? Even during the COVID period, and then a lot of students, a lot of my peers were having issues securing one. I got multiple offers. had to reject some. You get, but I think it all boiled down to me being, intentional about the entire search. I remember during the time I got a new journal, dedicated to internships, right? And then I wrote about 20 to 25 companies in that journal. I wrote my internship goals for the journal, and I also set deadlines, right? I remember when I set a deadline of at least getting like an offer before the end of November of that year. And I got Huawei, and a couple of them, a couple of offers, before that day. So I feel it just boils down to intentionality. I think during that time I made a lot of calls. I spoke with a lot of people. Yeah, I leverage LinkedIn. People in my department, my senior colleagues, I reached out to them, asked, oh, where did you do your internship? Okay, how can I get in? Is there an email I can reach out to? How do I send my CV and stuff? Yeah, I also remember when I started learning how to, craft resumes, how to, send cold emails, how to, write cover letters and the rest. They are paying off now. Those little skills or those times I spent, trying to just be different in my applications. Yeah, they paid off. And during this call, I just, as much as possible, I just want you to get one thing, right? Even if you learn how to maybe craft a resume from this session, or if you, learn how to, reposition yourself, to get some of these offers. Yeah. So let's talk about what you need to do, right, in developing your resume, like the build up to, developing your resume before you even start sending in that application. Yeah, what do you need to do? Right. First of all, you have to define where you want to intern. Very important. What companies are you looking at? Have you asked yourself questions? Okay, yeah, I'm studying electrical and electronics engineering, or I'm studying communications engineering, or I'm studying chemical engineering. Yeah, what companies are there that would offer me the wholesome experience that I need, right? So you should define where you want to intern. Like I talked about it earlier, that you need to make a list of companies. I usually say 20 to 25, that you want to intern at. And just shoot shots at them, ask a couple of questions, leverage LinkedIn to do all this stuff, right? So you should also define what states will be convenient for you. Yeah. You are in Lagos. Do you have relatives in Lagos? Sorry. Or do you have relatives in Port Harcourt? Do you have relatives in Delta? Do you have relatives in Abuja? Yeah, such that if you're looking at those companies in Abuja, then that means you can easily, go to those companies or go to those states and then, have your internship experience seamlessly. Yeah, so usually the state should even come first before where you want to intern, because the state defines the choice of your company. So take, for example, if I want to intern in Port Harcourt, for example, and define that, I have someone in Port Harcourt that I can stay with for my internship, or I have someone in Lagos that I can stay with for my internship, then I'll then go on Google. I mean, I used Google a lot at the time. Civil engineering companies in Port Harcourt, or civil engineering companies in Port Harcourt, civil engineering companies in Lagos, or data analytics companies in Port Harcourt, or data analytics companies in Lagos, and stuff like that. And then most importantly, you have to define your goals for your internship experience. Like, what do you want to get out of the entire experience? The companies you're reaching out to, are there some specific things you are hoping to learn, right? During your internship experience there, do you want to take some extra courses? Or do you want to use it as an avenue for you to network and stuff like that, right? So it's important you set those goals, because it's really going to go a long way to shaping, your decisions. So now we're going to be talking about a very important aspect of, your application, which is your resume. It's very important. A lot of people have reached out to me and they're like, Tochi, my resume, I don't have a resume. Do you need to do this? So basically, resume is a 1 to 2 page document highlighting your skills, your achievements, and background, right? So it's just a brief summary about who you are as a person, usually in 1 to 2 pages. I would advise just keep it to 1 page, right? Just keep everything to 1 page, and it highlights your skills, your achievements, and your background. Yeah. So I've already talked about this, and creating a good resume begins with clearly defining your goals and what roles you are interested in applying for. So it's very important. And what I want to say about this particular slide is that you can't, okay, take for example, you are someone who is multi-talented and maybe you have multiple skills, say in data analytics and let's say cloud engineering, or you have skills in data analytics and or then because of your internship or because of your department, yeah, you'd want to focus on an engineering, internship or something like that. So the thing is that you can't use a data a resume that you constructed for data analytics roles to apply for, let's say, electrical engineering roles per se, or let me use something way different, maybe graphics design, yeah, or let's say graphics design and software engineering, yeah. So the first stage or the first step you have to do is to define those goals and those roles. So if you have those roles and those goals in your head, you can easily know what to put on your resume. Okay, what are the projects projects should I spotlight? Should I focus more on my achievements? Should I focus more on some of the volunteering activities I did and so on? So this is the first step to building your resume, right? Very important. Then let's look at the CV development process. Let's look at it in depth, right? What are the sections that are supposed to be in your resume? Yeah, what are the things that are supposed to be there? Should you put your name? Yeah. So we're going to be looking at different aspects. So the first thing is, should you put a professional picture, right? So it's not necessary. Usually, I think it includes a form of bias, right? When recruiters are looking at your resume. So it's not necessary. It's not important to, it's not even advisable to put your professional picture in your resume. So the name format is very important. Like you can see here, it has my first name and my last name. So usually it's supposed to be first name, maybe middle name, and then last name. Or if you're starting with your surname, then the surname has to be capitalized, then before your first name and then your middle name, right? So then your email address, always use a professional looking email. Very important, yeah. Do not use weird looking emails like baby girl for life and all the stuff. So usually your email should be official and it should have some elements of your name, right? And then your phone number, have a phone number so that they can reach out to you. Do I need to include an address? Not really necessary. It's not necessary to include an address, most especially because you do not want to put yourself in a box situation. Take, for example, if the company might have a policy of, okay, let me give an example. Yeah, so I have this friend who told me about Main One. Yeah, she told me that before you can get employed, maybe as for NYC or as an undergraduate intern, you have to have an address on the island, right? So if you're someone who is just putting an address maybe from the mainland or from any other location, you might not just get your feet at the door in the first place. So to avoid being in that box situation, yeah, it's important that you remove every form of address, right? Unless it is very necessary to include the address. So the next thing is that you have to add your date of birth, your gender, your nationality, or your religion? It's not necessary, yeah? Exclude that from crafting your CV. Then your link to your LinkedIn, GitHub, or online portfolio, yeah? So very important. I'm a strong advocate of LinkedIn, yeah? So if you're on this call and you do not have a LinkedIn account, so please go and create one and talk about what you do, yeah? Then GitHub, most especially for the software engineering guys, data analytics guys, people who are more into technology roles, then you can always include your GitHub account. And if you have an online portfolio, you're a graphic designer, you're a front-end engineer and stuff, yeah, you can add your online portfolio. So next is font and font size. So I usually advise that I use font Times New Roman and then font size 12. It's more professional and it's just better. Yeah, so about LaTeX. So I don't want to go into LaTeX now, but I'll just give a brief overview. So LaTeX basically is like an online tool that you can use to write research papers, can use to do any kind of stuff, right? So if you are tech savvy and you just want to learn, you can use LaTeX to create your resume. That's like my go-to tool for creating resumes because it just gives me that defined structure. I don't just have to go on Microsoft Word and start giving myself or start going through the problems of trying to align paragraphs or margins and stuff like that, right? So LaTeX already has templates. So what you just have to do is just put in your details and just maybe add a little bit of sections to, suit your need. Yeah, that's very important. So, and the next point I want to add here is, should I save my resume as a PDF or Word document? It's very important, right? So it's always important that you save it as PDF because usually if you send it as Word and probably you use a lower version of Word or use a higher version of Word, right, to create your document, and someone with a lower version of Word is opening that document, it can get scattered, right? So to keep your document locked in, always ensure that it is saved in PDF format, right? And so the next one is naming your files properly. Very important, yeah? If you're sending your resume, if you're sending your cover letter, always ensure that you name it, let's say, Tochukwu Chukure cover letter, or Tochukwu or Osita James CV or resume, stuff like that. You get, so it's important to name your files properly. Yeah. So moving on, so talking about personal summary. So when crafting your CV, personal summary basically is like a short description of yourself, usually written in third person, right? That defines who you are as a person. It describes what you do and the impact of what you have done and how you have done that stuff. And then also tries to explain what is unique about you. So you're trying to incorporate these 4 points, yeah, when crafting your your personal summary. So at any point in time during my presentation, please, I'm always looking at the chat. If you have any questions, just drop it for me. I would not hesitate to, answer them. So yes, moving on, I'm just going to be giving a personal summary sample. So this was what I crafted, I think that was last year. So communications engineering undergraduate. So this communications engineering undergraduate defines who I am as a person, right? And then describing what I do. In describing what I do, I talk about, I have hands-on experience with quality assurance testing, user documentation, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud, right? That's like describing what I do, right? And then how do you do this? And how have I done this in the past? Okay, in the past, sorry. Supporting software development teams in quality assurance testing and documentation of software product, right? And then ability to take, so the last point is what's unique about you. Okay, you have the ability to take on projects and then lead the diverse team with an agile mindset and stuff like that. You get, so that is that for the personal summary example. And then the next section of your resume should be the education section. And your education section, you should talk about your current education history, should talk about the awards and achievements you have gotten in the chronological order, talk about your expected date of graduation, relevant courses and certifications completed. Like all these stuff should be included in your resume. So, sorry, in your education section, you get. So after this, the next thing you have, okay, this is like a sample for work experience. So after crafting your education section, so the next thing is to talk about your work experience. So, and then in your work experience, it's very important that you start explaining each point or each experience with an action word. Very important. And as much as possible, try to quantify the level of impact you have had. Yeah. And yes, so that's that for work experience. So if you don't have work experience as a student, you can always add volunteering. You can always add volunteering experiences, yeah, and you could always talk about your school project. So this is what I like tell people. A lot of people do not know, to be like, you do not have work experience and stuff, but you can always talk about your school and personal projects in your in your resume. Yeah. So I mean, these companies already know that you are an undergraduate and you may not have gotten enough experiences. So it's very important you talk about the name of your project, right? Your role on the team, the scope of the project, how you helped the team achieve the project goals, and then the result and outcome of the project. It's very important. So take, for example, one of the projects I did in school, I was trying to, put it in a very good way, would be I led a student group of 10 through a CCTV installation project across 3 examination halls, which led to the reduction of examination malpractice by 20%. So if you look at this, yeah, I started it number one with an action word, and then I tried as much as possible to quantify the level of impact that the project had. Yeah. And then I also talked about my role and then the scope of the project. You get. So this is like a snippet of one of the resumes. For this, actively involved in the installation and configuration of wire CCTV cameras across environmental halls, yeah, to curb the issue of examination malpractices, then what I gained out of the experience. So it's always important you talk about what you've gained from your experience, yeah, your internship experience. So yeah, someone asked what's the difference between a resume and a CV. So I'm going to answer that question at this point. So basically, yeah, a CV is more aligned towards applying for academic related roles. So say you're applying for a scholarship opportunity or you're applying for a postgraduate opportunity, usually your CV is more in the academia. Okay, awards you have gotten in the academia, projects you have work you have done in the academia, research works you have done, scholarship opportunities, scholarship, awards you have gotten, and so on, right? And conferences you have attended. So a CV is more tailored to the academic domain, while a resume is more tailored to the work domain. Yeah. So that's like the difference between a resume and a CV. So, like I was saying, you talk about your personal projects and you talk about maybe your school projects, yeah, if you do not have work experiences. So this is very important in crafting your resume, yeah. So then the next thing is that, yeah, volunteering, associations, and membership. So this is very important, and I'm always a strong advocate for a lot of people, yeah, especially students who like try their hands on volunteering, yeah, not just anyhow, not just any volunteering opportunity, but like look at volunteering opportunities that would really give you the necessary skills that you feel would be important in the job market. Yeah. So try as much as possible to volunteer for events, join student ambassadors programs. There are a lot of them. There's Notion, there is Carrywise, there's Ingressive for Good, there's Hot Prize, there's Enactors, a lot of them. Yeah. So join volunteering communities, join a club, right? If you are maybe in EE, you are in computer engineering, you are in MC or so on, right? Join organizations like the IEEE, like the IET, and so on, yeah, and participate in some of the activities, yeah. So if you're talking about volunteering, it's basically the same idea with when you're talking about your work experience, yeah. So basically you just have to start with an action word when defining it, yeah, or when explaining it, and as much as possible try to quantify the level of impact that you have had, yeah. And then the next section is that you should talk about your skills, hobbies, and interests. So it's very important. So what are the skills that you have that is relevant to the role which you're applying for? Okay, are you good with presentation? Are you good with project management? Are you good with MATLAB? Are you good with graphic design? Are you good with data analytics and so on? Are you good with Canva? Are you good with, different softwares, right? It's important you talk about it. Yeah, and then your hobbies and interests. So please, recruiters are not just looking out for this person is too serious person. Yeah, as much as you can, talk about other stuff like the fun stuff you do. Yeah, it's very important. Always just include that maybe in a line or so, your hobbies and your interests. Yeah. So now this is like general tips. Never use the same resume for different applications, especially for different roles. Yeah, always tweak it to meet the expectations of the company. So very important. Yeah, not just use one application. Do not just use one resume to apply for different. You see a job description for project management, you use the same resume. You see another one for graphic design, you see the same resume, you use the same resume. See another one for electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, you use the same resume. Yeah. So it's important you try to tweak it to the expectations of the company. So usually what I advise people is that probably you see a job description on LinkedIn or maybe on a website, yeah, and then look through, just take time to look through the job description, yeah, and just try to look at the expectations these companies have. And once you're armed with that information, you can use it to craft your resume, yeah. Maybe when talking about some of the experiences you have done in the past, which is relatable to those expectations of the company, you just try as much as possible to link it. You can try as much as possible to use some of the keywords they used in those job descriptions, right? So it's very important you do that. So yes, so basically this is like cover letter and LinkedIn tips, basically. Yeah. So the first thing is that you need to have, for your cover letter, you need to have a strong opening statement that makes it clear why you want the job. So after this call, since we're on the community, I could just send samples of cover letters and samples of CV templates that you can use to edit your application. Yeah. So always have a strong opening statement. Yeah. Why do you want, go straight to the point. Why are you applying for the job? Yeah. Why should we why should we hire you? I am this, I have 5 years. Just start your cover letter draft or your cover letter with a strong statement that explains why you are best suited for the role. Because usually they might just spend 6 seconds reading through your applications, right? And you having that strong statement can catch their interest at that first instance. Yeah. And then be succinct. Yeah. Be concise, go straight to the point. Yeah. The hiring manager should be able to read your letter at a glance. And then another point is that you should share an accomplishment that shows how you can address the challenges the employer is facing. So this is very important. So you see a job role for people or for a company that is looking for social media marketers, right? Is that what they call them? Yeah, social media, yeah, marketers. I don't know if it's social media marketers, but yeah, you get the gist, right? So you should always talk about some of the accomplishments you have done in the past. Probably if you volunteered for a team and then you increase their followership base from 60 followers to maybe 1,000 followers and stuff like that. If you increase it, just talk about it, share an experience, and ensure you quantify that experience. So it's very important. Yeah. So this like a sample cover, no, not cover letter, cold email, which I sent to someone at Huawei, the recruiter at Huawei, and like I got a response in like 7 minutes? Yeah, like 7 minutes. So I was just straight to the point. And then if you look at this, what I said was, okay, DMR, as a penultimate student of electrical and electronics engineering, I'm expecting my interest for this. You go straight to the point. Why are you writing me this email? Why are you writing to me? They just want to see what you are, talking about. They just want to read your email and know what this guy is looking for, right? Please do not write long sentences in your in your email, like the first email you're sending to any recruiter, right? You talk about how you came across the internship experience, and then if it's possible, you mention the name of a person, right? It usually adds more credibility and it shows that you have done your research. You get. So then you can attach all your documents, your CV, right? And your, what do you call it? What's this later? Your official school letter, yeah. And then if you must, you can attach your cover letter, right? So usually it's just your CV and your official school IT letter, especially for undergraduate internships. Yes. So some of the general tips, yes, be willing and intentional to search for internship opportunities and also be intentional about your application. So it's very important. Do not just sit down there, right? Like I said, I was intentional from the beginning. I knew what I wanted to get. Like in 2021, I remember writing Shell as part of the companies I wanted to get into. And I remember reaching out to them in 2021, but they sent me an email telling me that they were not accepting interns because of COVID. Yeah. And then I had to look at other options. I looked at Huawei, I got into Huawei, yeah. And even though I spent some time there, then because of the inconvenience in terms of distance, I had to look for another company. Yeah. And then after that, after my internship with at Botosoft Technologies, I saw the opportunity again for Shell. And that was during the strike period. Yeah, and I had to shoot again. And after shooting again, I got the opportunity. So yeah, so you should be willing, right? Don't just sit down there and say, hey, I better go. If they post internship opportunity on the WhatsApp group, that's only when I'm going to apply. Yeah, you need to ask questions, ask a lot of people, ask your senior colleagues. Where did you intern at? Okay, how can I get in? Do I need to submit something? Who do I need to reach out to? And stuff like that. Yeah. And then set goals, know what you want, and go for it. If you want to intern at Google, write it down in your journal. Yeah. You never can tell. I'm usually a firm believer that our expectations, yeah, can create a self-fulfilling prophecy or can result in a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. So as much as you can, just set goals, know what you want to go and go, know what you want and go for it. Yeah. So leverage LinkedIn and ask questions. I've repeated this. I can't just overemphasize it too much. Yeah. Then maximize and leverage every opportunity you get. So you get an internship role, maximize the opportunity, learn as much as you can, connect with as much people as you can. Yeah. Offer your time, just grab as much as possible from that internship experience. Yeah. And you'll be grateful for it. And then the next one is talk about what you're doing, talk about what you do on social media. Very important. Yeah. I remember there's a thread, there's this guy, I think his name is David, on Twitter, and he shares a lot of useful tips about getting internship offers. One way you can get into internship, especially during this period, I'll look for the thread and then share it on the group chat. Yeah. So one way you can get into internship would be reaching out to some of these recruiters and offering your time free of charge. And then most times you can end up getting a full role. Yeah, you can end up getting a full role. So talk about what you do on social media. If you're a graphic designer, post about it on social media. Yeah. If you learned about something, talk about it on social media. A lot of people are watching, yeah, and you never can tell where your next job opportunity or where your next internship, offer can come from. Then, in case you do not get an opportunity, like I said earlier during this call, that it's very difficult. I've spoken with a lot of undergraduates during this period, and I know that it's difficult because of the timing of our internships, especially for photo students. Like, this is May, yeah? So I feel one thing you can also do would be to take a course and then build projects. So maybe if you are in departments like computer science, all these technology related roles, or technology related departments, yeah, you can take learning courses on maybe Coursera, EDX, and then build good projects. Yeah, build good projects, develop your reports very good. If you must present with PowerPoint, come with your system to demonstrate your project, yeah, then you must do it. Yeah, because it's going to be difficult for a lot of people to get internships during this period. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so as much as you can, you could just leverage this opportunity to take those courses and then build projects. Yeah, and you'll be grateful you did. Yeah. So yes, so this is just a recap of what we did today. We did a little bit of icebreaker session to find out how many people have gotten internship offers already. Then I talked about myself and my internship research experience, build up to first internship application, and how you can demystify the CV application process. And then so we'll be going to question and answer and general tips. So if you have any questions, if you have you can always ask me. I'm here. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. I hope this helps. Yeah, I'm on the community, so I'll always share resources, definitely. So if you need to reach out to me, you can always reach out to me. I'm on the group chat, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just search for my name, Tochukwu Chukure. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. I also want to use this opportunity to thank the FON community for this opportunity. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Please, if your hands are not busy, can you just drop a reaction? Can type on the chat. This is so much value. I actually learned a whole lot of things. It was as if he was speaking to me directly. Wow, thank you so much, Tochukwu Chukure. That was a nice section. Thanks once again. So because of our time, we will quickly have to go ahead. And this time around, we'll be having another speaker. So the next speaker is already on the call, and he was more like the first person to join. Yeah, the slide will be shared on the group. Yes, thank you for asking that. So permit me as I make welcome Osita James. He's the co-founder for Fund. And before he comes up, I would just like to read a little of his bio. Osita James Uchi, he is a fully funded Chevening scholar, currently studying innovation management and entrepreneurship at the Nottingham Trent Business School, UK. Prior to this, he was a fully funded Nigerian University of Technology and Management scholar in 2021, and that's worth $45,000. Washington St. Louis scholar, which is worth $31,000, and a Nigerian Higher Education Foundation scholar in 2017. He has won scholarship worth $200,000 post-graduation, and he created FON, that's fund, with the vision to democratize access to scholarship and opportunities, information to Africans everywhere. So if your hands are not busy, help me as I make welcome Osita James. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. God first, I really appreciate your warm welcome. I was actually really hoping that I would get to speak to a much larger audience, but like I told you earlier, sometimes these things happen when we don't send communication consistently, then sometimes it affects the turnout. Please, is it possible you can pin me so that people can see my face and not the slide? Is that possible? Okay, great. Yeah. So hi everyone again. My name is Osita and I'm very excited to be here. It's really interesting because Futo has a special place in my heart. Futo has gained reputation for technology. A lot of founders. I think it was even on Twitter the other day that majority of the founders that raised close significant deals all came from Futo, and it's just really exciting to see what's happening in the Nigerian ecosystem. I am more of a technology entrepreneur more than anything else. I studied law back in my undergraduate degree when I was in UNN from 2012 to 2017. And then after that, I went on to do a technology postgraduate diploma at the Nigerian University of Technology and Management as part of their scholars founding class of the scholars program that they did in 2020, 2021. And then I have gone on now to do a master's degree in the UK, the Nottingham Business School, studying innovation management and entrepreneurship. So I'm really excited to speak to you guys today because it just brings back memories of when I was an undergraduate as well. I remember when I applied for my first internship, then getting into a law firm to apply is like the thing that everyone looks forward to be able to apply and get selected and, earn your first earning or whatever. For me, it was a bit straightforward because in my second year, I worked very hard and was the best student in contract law. I had the highest overall score. And as a result of that, they called me out during the law faculty dinner, and I got like a check of 75,000, a scholarship by EK and Arifayon that is now an EK Shitu and Co today. And that was actually like the first scholarship that I won as an undergraduate. And it really made a whole lot of difference because it made me believe that if I worked hard, if I was the type of person that was worthy of those type of recognitions, that I would eventually get like the things that I wanted. So I got an internship together with the scholarship as well. And that was how I got my first internship. Subsequently, I had to apply to G. Elias and a couple of other law firms. I even had to reject some because at some point we were having strike on campus. And I wasn't really sure if I went for the internship, whether I would like go and then the next day they would call off the strike. So I was caught in between that uncertainty and I ended up not going. That was an internship to Aluku and Oyebude in 2016. But essentially, what I'm just trying to say to you, especially whoever you are that's watching this video, is that many of us have been there. We've been in your shoes. We've also been students, had lots of workload, struggling to ensure that we meet up with our deadlines, sometimes suffering from heartbreak and all of that. So yeah, we've all been there. But the beautiful thing is that now this is an information age. So you have access to more information than any other generation. Just like the first speaker was saying, trying to like leverage different technologies to work on your CV. Even today, you can even use ChatGPT to review your CV to indicate whether it contains the keywords for the different type of roles that you're interested in. So, these things are not really hard. You can just go on YouTube and just watch the video and you will learn how to do it. The real challenge that we have in today's age, let me be very clear, is too much information. It used to be lack of information, but the real problem that we have today is too much information. If that were not the case, you would see that a lot of young people in Futu, probably maybe less than 20% or 30% of them have ever gotten internships before. More people will be interested in actually attending this session to actually hear what people that have had the experience have to say. But there's a lot of information online. There's TikTok, there's WhatsApp, it's endless. And when that happens, there's now like a war for the attention of people. In order to succeed, you need to keep focus on what you want to do. You can't allow yourself to be swayed by numerous different distractions on social media. There are so many of them. For someone that has won several different scholarships over the years, I started applying for postgraduate scholarship from 2019 and eventually got selected in 2022. So I've had like a long time failing and getting rejections to understand exactly what the problem was. The problem is not you, right? The problem is never you. The problem is what you spend your time on. Everything that gives takes is a law of nature. Nature upholds vacuum. If you're taking something, you're giving in return. And if you're giving something, you're taking in return. If you give your time to the things that matter, you'll be able to take away value from the process. But if you give your time to things that don't matter, you will take something away. You will take away the consequences of spending time on things that don't matter. I have mentored so many people over the years. Some of them have gone on to do really exciting things, and it gladdens my heart whenever I see the news and I see young people that I've mentored all over the place succeeding. And I'm going to tell you this from a place of a mentor and a teacher as well, because I've done education consulting for the last 4 years. You need to decide for yourself what you want to do. This is not the age where parents have a lot of influence and control on their children anymore. It's unfortunate, but children learn more from the internet than they can learn from their parents. But you can decide for yourself what you want to do, where you want to end up, just like Tochukwu was saying, because Tochukwu is such a scholar, so I'll keep going back to some of the key points that he made. He said, I did not wait to see if they would share opportunities on the group, to see if anybody would tell me about any internship opportunities. He said, I sought out the opportunities. I wrote an email. I networked on LinkedIn. I talked about what I was doing. I want you to disabuse your mind from the concept of overnight success. All the people that are peddling these things are liars. It's not true. Tochukwu can tell you how difficult it is to learn Google Cloud Computing. He probably has a certification, Amazon website. You can ask him. He's in photo. You can ask him. I want you guys to disabuse your mind of the idea that I can somehow succeed without putting in the work. It's the biggest lie of the 21st century. And even AI, sorry to say it's very unpopular opinion, AI is going to make people more dumb. That's exactly what it's going to accomplish. Technology is supposed to support people, not make them reliant. But with the way our generation is going, more and more people are going to be reliant on technology and not use technology to support themselves. There's a difference between that somebody is good, but is leveraging tools to support a skill that he already has. You cannot support what does not exist. You cannot. You cannot try to use ChatGPT to find out the internship opportunities that exist. Stop trying to do things like that. I'm saying this thing because I know, like, I've been speaking with a lot of Gen Zs. I am Gen Z. Funny thing, I'm actually Gen Z. But the younger ones, I've been speaking with a lot of them, and they just have this whole vibe of, oh, I just want to do this. I just want to do that. I just want to make it. And I'm like, it takes time. All the people that you know that are successful, name all of them in Nigeria, all those billionaires, they've been at it for over 2-3 decades. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't let anybody deceive you. How many of your age mates have you seen that are the top richest people in Africa? How many of your age mates have you seen? Don't allow anybody to deceive you. You start somewhere. It starts with a simple thing. Okay, I've created my LinkedIn account. I don't know how to start to express myself. I don't know how to talk about the things I'm doing. Meet those that are doing it better than you. Someone might have 5,000 followers and have a lot of engagement. Find out what they're doing differently. Speak to them. Just again, like Tochukwu was saying, interact with people that are senior to you. Send messages, send emails, ask for support, ask for help. And eventually everything that you want is going to fall into place. So I'm just going to, like, in a way of trying to wrap up, because I know that we're a bit out of time, I'm going to just tell you a bit about why we started FON and why what we're doing matters. FON was created from a big vision to help people to access scholarship information and opportunities. After I did a lot of research back in 2018, 2019, and found out that the major reason why people were not accessing all these scholarship opportunities was not because they didn't know how to write their essays. The biggest reason was that they didn't know which scholarships to apply for. Sort of circling back to what I said earlier, that we live in an age of overload of information. If you go online to check for scholarship relating to medicine or relating to engineering, you're probably going to see over, 500,000 search results. How do you start to go through 500,000 search results to find exactly what it is that you're looking for? These sort of challenges that I had personally trying to search for scholarships that aligned with my own personal interest areas led me to start to build the largest scholarship database in Africa. We have something similar called Scholarly in the US, and they have almost 100,000 scholarships compiled, but it applies specifically to the Black minority that are African Americans that live in the US. So the platform is completely useless for Africans that live here. But then, according to MasterCard, Africans in sub-Saharan Africa are the ones that need scholarship the most and the ones that have the least access to it. But then the funny thing is that China created over 30,000 scholarships in 2020, and not up to 10% of it was applied for because people don't know about it. People don't know about a lot of opportunities. People don't know about a lot of different programs, both for entrepreneurship, both for tech, both for agriculture, so many different programs. And the only way that people can know is if the information is organized in a way that is easy to access. So that's the big problem that we're solving at FON. We're trying to take all this information from all over the place and put them into one comprehensive, easy to access database, such that anyone, any African from anywhere can simply go onto the platform and put in details like their age, their course of interest, their country of interest, and maybe their CGP, their what's it called, class of degree, and then the platform will automatically bring out all the opportunities that they're eligible for, and also be able to help them track their application as well as provide resources for each of those applications. We've been hosting scholarship hacks since 2019, and we've done almost 30 scholarship hacks so far. We invite scholars from all over the place that have won fully funded scholarships to talk about the experience, how exactly they were able to win the scholarship, what they did differently as individuals, and some of the things that they did while they were undergraduates as well that eventually led to their success. I personally believe that starting from when you are an undergraduate gives you a better shot at getting exactly what you want. And that's why we started the FON University Communities. Our goal is to reach 3 to 4 African countries before the end of the year. We currently have 10 communities in Nigeria. We have in Futo, we have in Unilag, we have in LASU, Uniben, and other universities as well. The big dream is that we can start to help undergraduates all over the place to start to think around their future and also support them with materials, resources, and opportunities that can enable them to position for those global opportunities when they're graduates. That's like the idea of having FON University Communities, because these are onboarding sessions. So it's very important that you understand why we started the concept and the program in the first place. As an FON Community University member, you have access to different opportunities that we're going to be posting very soon. One of the main ones that is like a key attraction is the FON Awards. We've partnered with alumni from different universities, alumni from Uniben, alumni from University of Lagos, alumni from Futo, and alumni from LASU. What we're going to be doing is that these alumni are excited about giving scholarships, funding, and support to undergraduates. So all the FON University community members will be eligible to apply for those scholarships, but only people that are FON University community members. So in the past, very important, final thing I'm going to say, we have tried to provide all these resources, try to invite people to speak to people and things like that. And what is reoccurring from our experience is that people don't value what they don't pay for. For example, the session that Tochukwu just gave now, if Tochukwu were to host it as a boot camp with all the social capital that he has, he can charge 5K per person for them to come and learn exactly how he has successfully applied to all the internships that he has applied to. But the turnout of the number of people that actually attended does not reflect that they understand the value of what they want. And this is what has changed our mind about the whole concept. And we've decided to add membership fees. What it does is that it commits us and the people that are members of the community as well. There's a lot of administrative costs that come with trying to organize these programs, organize opportunities, speak with these people to give the scholarships, leveraging network that is personal to us. There's a lot that goes into it. And our experience in the past 3 years has shown consistently that people do not value what they don't pay for. An average undergraduate would rather pay 10K to go listen to Burna Boy than pay for something that will support their future. We want to end that. We are no longer interested in people that are not willing to invest in their own future. Tochukwu will not tell you how much he has spent going to Port Harcourt, going to these different states where he probably doesn't live to go for an internship because he knows that it will make a difference in his future. Because he knows. You probably don't know the entire value of how much it costs to take one of those certification courses on Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. If you even try to apply for scholarship, the time cost is more expensive than the monetary cost of actually paying for it yourself. So yeah, we have different sets of membership, which we're going to share with Godfest, and Godfest will share with the community. The idea is that people that are paid members will be eligible to apply for the scholarships and also get access to all the opportunities that will open up. We'll have more sessions such as this. We have very talented people on our network, people like Tochukwu that have done different things, and people that are doing very marvelously well across different universities in Nigeria. Our goal is to help every single undergraduate that is in a federal university in Nigeria to position themselves for global opportunities now and in the future. Thank you all so very much for the opportunity to speak to you. And I look forward to speaking to your team again with more of the community members. Once I come back to Nigeria, I'm going to visit each of the campuses personally to both meet the members of the community as well as interact with you guys one-on-one. Thank you, Godfest. Over to you.
Wow. Amazing. That was super amazing. Thank you so much, sir. So I would like to have some reactions. Look, I can see that from Ebuka. Yeah, Chidima. Yeah. That's the vibe. Thank you so much, sir. So because of our time, quickly, we are going to take one or two questions. This is obviously a question and answer session. So if you have any question, you can either raise your hand, ask the question, or type on the chat. Yeah, anyone? Is this a question? Okay, I think there's a question from Ebuka. Hi, thanks for the insightful session. Second time listening to you today, and I appreciate that. Do you advise applying for internship even after the school permitted internship period elapsed? If so, how do you advise managing the internship program when you eventually get it, along with the academic activities concurrently? For example, if I eventually get an internship after my 400 level, maybe first semester of my final year, how do you advise managing such scenario? Okay, Coach, I don't know if you can take that.
Yes, so I think can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, so what I'm assuming is that the internship role is going to be remote, because that can be the only way with which you can, maybe I would say, okay, juggle your schoolwork and then the internship opportunity, right? Because if it's going to require you, maybe you're in school in Owerri and it's going to require you to maybe travel to Lagos, that might be just difficult and you might just have to decline the opportunity. But if there's room for a remote working scenario, then it then depends on you to start looking at how you'll be able to manage your time to work on that road. Yeah. So that's just like what I would give, the advice I would give. Yeah. So you can only do this, or you can only juggle it with school if it's a remote role. It's going to be way lot difficult if it requires you to be on site. Yeah. So yes, if it's not a remote role, then you just have to maybe decline the opportunity or reach a mutual agreement with them to join the company maybe immediately after your undergraduate degree. Yeah, because I think he gave a scenario of him being in first semester of 500 level and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tochukwu, for answering that. So I hope that was answered. We have a second question from Chidima. Okay, for journaling on internship, how do you go about hitting your set target for the internship? How do you consistently journal?
So yeah, about journaling on internships and how I consistently hit set targets. To be honest, yeah, sometimes you set a target, yeah, and then you do not get the expected results or the expected outcome. But the importance of setting targets is that it guides you, right? Guides you towards maybe a particular thing you need to do or a particular person you need to reach out to. Yeah. Sometimes I just write things down and then I'm scrolling to social media And I just see an opportunity that fits exactly what I've already written now. You get. So you just like I say, you just have to try as much every morning. Yeah. You can just dedicate say 30 minutes to writing down stuff, or probably after for me, I journal usually using my diary or my phone. Yeah, and I usually do it very early. You get journal about maybe things I want to do, or journal about some of the things maybe I see an opportunity, or I see something I need to apply for. I just pen them down, just write them down. Yeah, or just journal about something I see and I'm looking forward to achieving it, or I'm looking forward to doing it in the future. Just pen them down. Yeah. So usually, if you're just starting it out as a skill, honestly, it's going to be difficult, right? I mean, it was difficult when I initially started. There are some days you do it today, you're not going to do it tomorrow. Maybe after you're only going to repeat it maybe after 1 week or stuff. Yeah. And I think one thing that can also help, and one thing that helped me when starting out, was the idea of getting an accountability partner. So you can get an accountability partner that you guys talk about. Okay, today did you journal? What did you write down? What are you grateful for? And stuff like that. Yeah. Or if you're keeping a journal about internships. Yeah. So basically, the journal is just going to contain companies, the goals, or the expectations you have, right? And then stuff like that. You get. So I think keeping an accountability partner could be a way to help. And just like time boxing, that particular, just put it there in your plan. Yeah. I'm going to journal or stuff like that. And that's why I said you should always have they're not taking applications on your phone. So sometimes if you're not with, or sometimes if I'm not with my phone, sorry, if I'm not with my journal, you have to just pen down things on my phone, and then after some time, or when I'm with my journal, I then transfer it. I don't know. I just prefer writing things down than using digital copies. So yeah, I just hope that answered the question.
All right. Uh, Thank you so much. Yeah, she says you totally understand now. That was well answered. So at this point in time, we will have to draw a curtain because our time is fast spent. So I really appreciate our speakers. Thank you so much for making our time, despite your tight schedule, to be present. Thank you for your time, even for those that attended. I really appreciate as well. Thank you so
I'll
much.
send it. I'll send it, please.
So I don't know if any other person have any other thing to say before we call it a section. Yeah, actually, thanks for listening. So just like our co-founder rightly said, we'll be having more of these sections as time goes on. So even on our community, a lot of opportunities will be dropped on as well. So thanks so much once again. And if there's no other thing, I think we have to call it a day. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be here.
Same here, sir. Bye.